I'd like to call the Thursday, June 27, 2024, special meeting of the Board of Education to order at 7:06. Roll call.
Vice Chair Nafrio.
Here.
Secretary Sienna. Here. Judy Bannon. Marjorie Bonity. Here. Zachary Canada.
Here.
Kim Dawson.
Here.
Victoria Lanza.
Here. Salute to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any visitors' comments related to the agenda? No. Okay, then we move on.
Thank you. It's truly an honor to have the opportunity to recognize two of our retirees this year. We had a couple others that with the shift in the meeting weren't able to be here, but we want to thank them publicly and wish them nothing but the best. Our department chairs are here as well to introduce and say a few words about them, and then I'll have them just walk around and say a final goodbye before starting off on a very adventuresome, fun-filled life full of health and happiness. So that being said, if Liz Kaplan would please come forward. Liz is our department chair, and she's going to introduce Diane Renetta, and then I'm going to have her family come up, Larry and Austin, and we're going to do a picture together, okay?
So I want to thank Diane for her 13 years of service to the school district of Branford. I learned a lot about Diane the night of her incredible retirement dinner that the wonderful people at Jerome Harrison put together for her. It was such a heartwarming evening, and I learned a lot about her past. She raced cars in her past life and has done many interesting things. She's a very interesting person, but I just truly want to thank you for what you brought to the children and to your colleagues at Jerome Harrison. You have made an indelible mark upon your school and the school district and the town of North Branford, and we thank you for your service. Thank you for the art department. Anytime I never needed anything, or you were always so gracious and kind with anything that we asked you for help for. And, you've been a consummate colleague, and I just want to wish you all the best time with your family and all your new adventures in retirement.
Now, did you say race cars?
She raced cars.
A little known secret also, she taught driver's ed. So, her students, she was a race car driver. Did you like this? No, I thought race though. Oh, right. So, we have a professional photographer here at the fire. Right here, this is Branford. The family, I'll do the backdrop.
We should get the sun now. Yeah, you got folks maybe from that side.
That's why I have.
That's why we pay them.
Retainers for this professional skills.
There you go. We're still getting that sun.
It's a picture, get used to it.
Don't blame.
Thank you.
Okay, we know where to go with this issue now. Okay, and I have Jen Tetzel, please come forward, Department Chair for World Language. She is going to introduce Alex Alvarez. Alex is here with her sister Carmen and brother-in-law Gary. So,
Well, thank you very much. So I would like to introduce Alex Alvarez to you. She started working with us in 1999 when she came in to be a long-term sub. And the minute she came into North Branford, I knew that she had a place in the World Language Department. She just made a connection with all of us, and you know it when you're working with someone who's passionate and excited and has a lot to offer. offer you. I was so sad when she left at the end of that year. We did offer her a position, and she only wanted part-time and needed full-time. But then I was able to wrangle her back a few years later, and she came to work at North Branford Intermediate School. And she fit in there like a glove as well, although I did miss her, seeing her all the time at the high school. But I was able to then reel her up to the high school a few years later, but she has been with us, since that time. And she's just been a consummate professional, and she's been so fun to work with, and she's got such a bubbly personality that you can only imagine what our department meetings look like. And she's got such a great culture behind her and the love of the language, and she would share absolutely anything she had with you. And when she left this year to go on to a very exciting adventure, I was devastated, absolutely devastated, and I will never forget the day she told me. I think I was actually angry at her, and she would never have been. But I knew it was a great place for her, and she was going to bring her professionalism and her excitement for the language to an entirely different country. But she has left a hole in our department, and we talk about it all the time, but we have her this summer, and we talk all the time, and her students loved her. They were so sad when she left. I would hear her name all the time, and she's been in the yearbook. They brought her name up in the graduation speech, so she really did leave a mark on her students in North Branford, and they miss her, I miss her, but I'm so happy that I had so many years with her, and North Branford is extremely lucky to have had her. So congratulations.
You should be clapping. Now, tell the board what you are doing now.
So hello, board members. Thank you for having me. I'm on an adventure. I am currently I'm teaching Spanish and social studies for the first time in my career on an Air Force base in Western Germany. So the Department of Defense has presence all over the globe, bases, and they have to educate their children. So I'm not bragging, but it is really, really challenging and competitive to get a teaching position through the Department of Defense. So I was shocked. Would I say Germany is my first choice? Was my first choice?
I'm German, so
When I first submitted my application, it was like, oh, only the naval base in southern Spain. I only consider that on the water. And then I said, okay, maybe Italy, fine. And then nothing, and I said, okay, here we go. And I remember that moment where I clicked on Europe. Germany. And I was like, Germany! I never studied the language. Anyway, it has been an adventure like no other. But I always have North Branford, the personal connections, the professional relationships, all of you in my heart. I will watch T-Bird News in my classroom, and I'll get teary. And your review this year did me in, because I had a lot of those students in 8th grade. Why are you buying this? I was creative. Anyway, so thank you so much. Thank you for a wonderful career and wonderful connections and people in my heart always. North Branford kids, I have to honestly say, are pretty amazing, although some may make us crazy. They're pretty amazing children. They really are. So thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy your
The Department of Defense contacted me for the clearance background. I said, she may be on a couple of lists. I don't know. So, Alice, thank you so much. I
Thank you.
enjoyed the conversations and
Oh, yeah.
friendships that grew
Yeah.
over the years. We
Yeah.
worked together for a long time.
Yeah.
So I want to thank both of you. We're going to do a family picture and then get you two together, okay? Come on.
Thank you. So where am I going?
We're going to go back over to the studio.
I wanted to go to Germany too, but he went to Nam.
Where did she go? She said she wanted to go to Germany too, but he went to Nam.
I was hoping for Germany.
My niece was in the Air Force. She was
meetings, they say.
Is everything in order? Really? Yes. It's a casual greeting. Interesting. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your summer, Jen.
Bye, Jen, thank you.
Boy, the room just got empty.
Thank you, Liz.
Wow, it was family and friends and
We want to do it.
grab a cookie. Grab cookies before you go.
I don't want to bring them home. Very good. Do you want to introduce our new board member?
I do, as soon as, see, these retirees don't have a schedule now, they can just, it's over now. So, okay, is he good? He's good. Okay, so continuing, thank you, board, for the reception this evening. It's always an honor to recognize those who have given so much to our children and to hear their experiences in North Branford and have them speak so eloquently about our students because of our teachers. And there's that relationship, and that's what it's about. So at this time, we have a new Board of Ed member, and I promise I'm going to pronounce this the right. The first part, Marjorie's easy. Bonadies.
It's correct.
Bonadies. See?
First time.
What's your dad? Only yours. Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Our first order of operations as a new board member, because our chair left, we have to do an election for a new board chair. So I'll turn this back over to the vice chair, who can take on that part of it.
Just before we do that, I just wanted to, superintendent and board have received a resignation from board chair Shauna Holzer effective June 19th, 2024. Heartfelt thanks are extended to Shauna for her 7 years of dedicated service to the North Branford Board of Education. Shauna's resignation has now left the vacancy in the position of board chair, so we can move on at that point. I'll entertain any nominations for board chair.
I'd like to make a nomination.
Sure.
I'd like to nominate Margie Bonadis for our chair. She has a wealth of knowledge, being on many different committees, economic development, school buildings, finance, public safety, settlement. So I think she'll become a really good asset and chair for us.
Were you on the town council?
I was on,
previously in
yes.
another town?
Correct, 10 years, yeah, in
Wow.
Hampton.
Okay. Are there any other nominations?
Can we second, or how does it work? Do we-
Are there any other nominations?
Nominations first.
No? Then we just cast one vote for Marjorie.
Somebody has to vote. Okay, so.
Sorry,
Four. How about five? All right, it's unanimous.
All right.
Marjorie,
Wow,
congratulations.
thank you.
Squeaked in
First
there.
night here, and you're
Squeaked in.
I haven't even had my cookies yet.
I did change your mind. I did.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I didn't know I didn't know if we would go around the room and say,
Roll call or anything.
yeah.
Yeah, that was my first chair.
So you take over at this point.
Oh, boy. Okay.
We'll do it together. Why don't we do it together? Do it together. And make you feel better.
So working off of the consent agenda, obviously, our meetings are much more timely if we have things that we recognize all at once with a vote from the board.
Right.
So you're familiar with that. The only pieces that I'd like to speak to is we've been very successful in the hiring process this summer, and you're going to have an opportunity later in the evening to do the authority to hire over the summer months, because we're still filling positions. But I want to thank the administrative team for their efforts over the last 2 weeks of finding really highly qualified people to come in shortage areas and be really excited about coming to work in North Branford. So it's been fun to sit back and be a part of. So thank you, administrative team.
Well, in going back, Anna has this spelled out as an actual motion. So if it makes people more comfortable, we'll do the actual motion, so there's no problem.
Yeah. Do you want?
With the motion to approve the appointment of Margie Bonadis as board chair for the term scheduled to expire on November 11, 2025.
Second.
Why don't we do a roll call on this one? Roll call, sure.
Chairman Bonadies? No, you would abstain. Vice Chair Anafrio?
Yes.
Secretary Sienna?
Yes.
Zachary Canada?
Yes.
Kim Dawson?
Yes.
Victoria Lanza?
Yes.
Very honored, thank you.
Good luck.
So what I just said before about the consent agenda stays, so now you're,
Yeah, so we'll just, so now,
To approve the
I'll make a
consent
motion to approve the consent agenda of the June 27, 2024 Special Board of Education meeting as submitted.
Second.
Sometimes we do a roll call, only because it's approving the minutes and somebody might not have been here at a previous meeting and they need to abstain, so we tend to do a roll call on this one.
If they access the archive minutes, they would still, they have to be present. Okay. All right. So all in favor of, oh, I'm sorry, we're accepting the consent agenda, but, okay, take a roll call vote, please. Sure.
Chairman Bonadies?
Abstain.
Vice Chair Anafrio?
Yes.
Secretary Sienna?
Yes.
Zachary Canada?
Yes.
Kim Dawson?
Yes.
Victoria Lanza?
Yes.
Everything is included. Okay. Everything about is included. So then,
And we have the superintendent's report next.
okay, thank you. Well, it says there's no recognition, but we obviously just recognized 2 retirees, and we were honored to do that. The board briefs are attached I'm sure you had a chance to go through and take a look at them and see how we closed out the year. Obviously, May, June is the busiest of times, and many of you were able to get to activities around the district, and I know that you commented at the last meeting. It was so nice to see all of you at the high school graduation as an entire board. I think that's my first time in 15 years that the entire board had been present. So I personally want to thank you. It means a great deal to not only our students and our staff, but to the school community. So thank you.
Great event.
Mr. Stefan,
A nice night.
Ms. Lee, you guys did a great job. Graduation was great. I mean,
Middle school
the kids-
was equally-
The kids were so well behaved and,
Yeah.
I mean, just kept it moving. It was great.
Middle school promotion ceremony was very nice as well. So it was a great week in North Branford. If you have any questions on the communication, half of my administrative team's on vacation, so if you have any questions, email them. With the change in the scheduling of the meeting, they're getting their days in now before we start July 1. Finance report, I'll turn it over to Ms. Vaughn.
Thank you. In front of you, you do have a rather large packet this evening. I appreciate your patience as I got the narrative and the other reports together for you this afternoon. It's the end of the year and a lot of things are processing rather quickly, so I wanted to hold off and make sure you had the most accurate and timely report possible. We'll start off with the general fund. We currently have just over $2 million in open purchase orders, which includes at least $325,000, which will be reallocated to Fund 25. There is a mistake in the notes on your narrative. I just see it says reallocated to Fund 2. That should be Fund 25. This allocation may actually increase from $325,000, or it may actually decrease a little bit, depending on how things process and what the number is at the end of the day tomorrow. We are in the process of still calculating, if any, for a number for the food service and the Family Resource Center to end the year with. Both of them in the past have been able to contribute at least something towards the benefits of their staff. So if that's the case, we will allow that contribution from them, which will in turn reduce our health insurance expense for the current year and will allow us to carry more over into Fund 25.
Can you just, because I had a conversation with 3 board members before, can you explain with the carryover of the 325 to Fund 25 next year, that's part of our operational budget
Yes.
that we are using in our real number to maintain services, staffing, and everything else.
Right, that was what the town council had voted to approve, allowing us to carry that 325 if available over to Fund 25 to help meet the difference between our status quo and what we were actually given for our approved budget for next year.
And that 325, we're going to talk with the board when we get into next year about big ticket things that would go towards, because it's part of the operational. Instead of doing 75 different things with it, it would be towards something big, transportation, medical benefits, whatever. You'll come up with that. But that's included, because that conversation came around the solar money, which is credited, and we're going to be taking credited money from the other buildings to offset, because the high school and the second phase of the high school is going to be more than what we have allocated for
The
electricity.
expenditures at the high school are much more now than they were with the new building. And now, of course, we're months away from having the new wing, which is the gym, coming online. So we're not sure what the exact electricity costs are going to be there. And then, yes, we are getting solar credits, but there is also an expense tied to the solar. The company calculates a fee that we're actually charged in order for us to use. It's a complicated thing, but that's in a very summary fashion how it works. So, and I just want to speak to the credits too. There's a misconception that this is money that we're transferring over. The easiest way to think about it is if you overpay your electricity bill at home, that credit stays on your account. And so that's exactly what's happening here with our accounts. Those credits are on our account, and it's our hope that we're going to use those credits for the 24-25 fiscal year, reducing our actual expenditure out of pocket. So that, I think that's kind of the simplest way.
That
made it a lot
The 25 count is going to zero
That was
this
real
year.
clear, Martha.
The 325 is what we were allowed to carry over, which I was saying, we're going to spend it on big things. We're not going to do, water bottles and things like that. That's already part of our operational budget. What we want to eventually do is get away from the solar money and let the town take that on and use that. And then when we budget accordingly for actual, because we're going to be risking, we don't know. Who knows what these panels are going to do over the next several years. I think we want to get out of the solar business.
Don't they? Yeah.
So anyway, hopefully that helps. Okay? I'm sorry, Martha.
That's okay. We did receive a total of $313,393 for special education excess costs. Of course, that's always a toss-up. We never know how much we're going to actually get. I had estimated $175,000, so we did come in a little above that, but of course that means we actually spent a lot more on special education expenditures than we thought as well. So it's a give and a take there. I included, because excess cost sometimes is confused or not easily understood, I did take this part, what is the excess cost grant, right off of the state website for you. So you have it and you can read through it if you can't sleep or just want to understand a little bit better.
Thank you.
As far as the objects go, there are quite a few that have negative balances, and the transfers that I'm going to ask for your approval for in a minute will address the majority of those. But there are a few things that I wanted to bring to your attention and highlight that I thought were important for you to know. So for the substitute line, we spent $94,554 on substitutes this year. 43,000 of that was on substitute paraprofessionals, and we actually had some Yale students helping us fill the open para positions, and that's where those salaries were taken for, because they were not in a true paraprofessional role. They were actually substituting for us and filling in. We had very little in what we call daily substitute teachers, where we actually call out for a sub when we can't fill, and 1,500 in substitute nurses. And the other big piece of that was 29,646 in substitute custodians. Transportation, there currently is an encumbrance open for DATCO, and if you remember from last year, we did the same thing. By setting a little bit of money aside in this year's budget, we're able to pay DATCO and guarantee that we get a 1.5% discount for next year. You might say 1.5%, but actually, because we spend so much money, it's actually a little bit over $40,000, which in my world is almost a full teacher's salary. So, outsourced transportation, you'll see right now that the line is mostly, is actually negative by $221,000. This is not DATCO. This is our outside vendors that do special education transportation. It's mostly, I believe this year, the expenditures were through ACES.
I just want to update on the transportation for outsourced. As you do recall, I was able to purchase a 10-passenger van with a wheelchair lift. It has been lettered. It's being inspected by DATCO. It will be registered as well, and we'll have that on the road for next year, which will be a savings for us for our 18 to 21-year-old program, if you don't remember. So that's going to help us as well. We have 2 teachers who are being certified now to drive that van.
CDL.
Yeah, from that program. So that's a good thing. Cool.
So that negative of $221,000 is actually going to be absorbed by a transfer that I will request through you from the non-public tuition line, and we have $342,000 in that non-public tuition line because of the $313,000 that we received in excess cost funds. So that's why there's such a large amount on that line. As we just said, electricity has been something that we've talked about for the majority of the year. Right now, the line in itself is over budget by $130,000. $182,000 of that is from the high school alone. So we're going to make transfers from the other electricity lines into the high school electricity line, as well as some other line items that you'll see in the transfer requests later on. What I think I'm going to do for next year, 24-25, is actually create some solar lines so that we can easily identify how much we're paying the solar company as a fee, and it will be clear how much we're paying in electricity, because when the two numbers are together as they are right now, it's very hard to distinguish that, and I like things very clear. So
we're going to do quarterly reports too with solar. At the meeting we had with council and board, we wanted to have short-term updates so that everyone knew how the fields were doing, and we report that out.
there is a new line that you've never seen before under propane, object 623. You'll notice there's a $38,000 negative there. DATCO switched a few of the buses to propane in order to comply with the EPA's Clean Bus Act, which is great. But the communication to me was delayed. So we actually just found out about it a couple of weeks ago. And so I created a new line, propane for transportation, and we will transfer money from other lines into that line to cover that as well. You'll also see in Object 800, it's clearly identified as encumbrance for Fund 25. That's where you'll see the $325,000 that I set aside for transfer. This way, it helps me to understand exactly how much money we have left by taking that out and setting it aside. Moving on to Fund 25, we have $240,000 in expenditures and actually it says 108, but that is a mistake. It's 159,000 in open purchase orders. You'll see that on the next page. I got the number right there. What you will see that you haven't seen last month is that we paid out our 4 retirees for their severance packages that they were due. So that was a total of almost 125,000. Let's see, the only other thing new there is we have $21,913 in expenditures for the cafeteria tables, which was in last year at Totucket. But now you'll also see the expenditures for the new stalls and partitions for the girls' bathroom. That was discussed a couple of months back when we were talking about the needs there to redo the bathroom. You'll also see the $10,000 for the purchase of the van that we just spoke about. And let's see, there's 2 open purchase orders, again totaling $159,000. One is for Tyler Technologies. If you remember back when we bought Munis, the Board of Education is paying for the separate database. And so that $108,000 is the remaining on that separate database. And there is $50,000 set aside for equipment to furnish the new gym that will be coming online. There's also reports, just as last month, for Family Resource Center and the food service. Again, I just want to remind you that these net profits that you see are only through May 31st. And I do not believe that those profits will stay that high as you see now. They will come down. The revenue for the month of June will be little to none. But we still have expenditures for salaries and things because as hourly people, you're always paying in arrears.
Just one comment, if I could, sorry, on sorry, I lost my train of thought. The silly putty facility, when that we're supposed to what, come on, is it silly putty or nutty? I can't remember. Silly putty.
Yeah.
I always want to say nutty, but anyway. That's, if we're all done with the high school, we're moving in, say what, is it October-ish, right? October 11th or whatever? When is, that's the plan, right? Of course, right? What's the, when's the lease end on that?
We're month to month.
Month to month, okay.
Yeah, we changed that over.
Perfect.
Worked with Joe.
That's good.
On that, so we're month to month.
That's
Oh,
good.
great. So
Yep.
the plan is, once we're settled,
We'll transition. Yep.
And then, is any of that athletic equipment salvageable from?
We're not looking to move it for a third time because of the age of the equipment,
Sure.
for safety reasons. So I'm working with Joe now if he wants to purchase donation or do something, so.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, what we can, we will, but a lot of it.
It's probably outdated, I imagine,
It's
right?
30 plus years.
Understood, that's fine, yeah.
So I have been working with Quinnipiac University and looking at equipment through their vendor and their people, and
Be a nice
yeah,
plug.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're baby steps, but doing it the right way.
Right. And the gym and the new facilities upstairs, right? The workout, where's the workout room?
Upstairs.
Right?
Second floor.
Second floor.
Yep.
Thank you.
In your packet, you'll also see a spreadsheet with a yellow banner on the top. That is a report on our grants. What I did was basically list out for you the grant, the award period, the original award amount, the expenditure to date, encumbrance to date, and available balance, if any, along with the summary so you understand what the grant is and how it was used. Yeah.
Do we have any update from the Family Resource Center on that $500,000 grant? And how
Yeah,
much
so
was
if
that?
you look, it's actually the second grant listed here. So there is currently $221,000 in expenditures and $278,000 in encumbrances.
I know she talked when she came here about purchasing playground equipment. Did any of that happen?
Yeah, I believe they started to install some of the playground equipment on the side of the building. You'll see that there. And then There's a whole bunch of new furniture and things that she ordered for the program. She's survived on very small budgets over the past few years, and this money was really allowed her to upgrade some of her things and learning materials, and I know they're all very excited about.
Well, weren't they trying to get in line with the pre-K?
Yes.
So we just abated one of the 3 classrooms there for the birth of 3.
As for asbestos.
For asbestos. Either air conditioning unit was working, so they had fans blowing. So the 2 new air conditioning units are going in wall mounted. We'll retile the floor. The furniture will go in. They'll be nice. They're what they should have been years ago.
Right, but I'm saying the curriculum's going to all.
Oh, yes. No, so right. Carter will work with Anne Marie and continue to align in with Sarah, obviously with the pre-K. Yes.
And then, let's see, and finally there is all of the budget transfers that I will ask for your approval on. These are budget transfers, the majority of them are all cleanup. As, some teachers are assigned to different buildings than they're originally budgeted for, people go out on leave, people resign, people come in, so things happen throughout the year. So all of these budget transfers are cleanup in nature, and you will see the transfer for the electricity, as I talked about, and for propane that I specifically mentioned as well. So I'll give you a minute to look those over.
How is the custodial, I guess we're not complete with the high school, right? So we can't give a total accurate number, but, with what we got, are we okay? You know what I mean, for the high school services? I'm just curious.
We're understaffed, but we're not adding any staff.
Right.
So we're teaming, we're going to share auditorium cleaning. We have a part-time person coming here and splitting with the school. So we're accessing what we have, but not adding.
Okay.
That's not an area that I would...
Well, it's not really a lot of classroom anyway in that final section, but it's a big nugget to clean too. So
yeah, we invested in the best equipment.
Right.
I won't call them the ride-along lawnmowers, but the ride-along floor cleaning machines that are efficient and effective, and they're timely with being able to do large areas. So we've kept up on the technology for cleaning and doing that. So we're okay.
It's good.
If we eventually have a couple of our elder statesmen retire, with that new contract, we were able to lessen the hiring costs. Mm-hmm. So we would be able to replace possibly 2 guys for one guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on our radar.
Roger that. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we made a big change in that contract. Yes, we grandfathered it and brought it down to a...
Is there 7 security or 6? Wait, no, I misspoke. Do you know that number? I'm looking at page...
What's the question?
How many security officers do we...
Well, there's 2 shifts, and we run the shifts in every building, in the auditorium as well. Because of the building project, we wanted an extra hand of set-bys on the ground. So it varies, and then at night, it diminishes down to just the actual schools.
Also included in the security salaries are graders, which of course we need to reduce for next year.
Right.
We're adequate with the security, you think?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're good, good number?
not an area I would add to.
All right.
Do more all in favors normally than we do roll calls. But sometimes if you really need to know something or having an issue, you may want to do.
Any other questions on line transfers?
Any questions?
Okay.
Seeing none?
Okay, then I'll make a motion to approve the budget transfers as provided by Martha Vaughn, Director of Personnel and Business.
I'll second. Didn't you all? Okay. Any further discussion? Any questions? Arthur, would you be open to having people call or come in and stuff?
Absolutely,
Come in?
yes. And I normally have the information to you a day before the meeting, and I apologize that I didn't get it to you this time, but again, with everything moving so quickly with the end of the year coming, I wanted to make sure I had as accurate as I could for you this evening, so I apologize for the delay.
Thank you. So we can roll call. Your preference. I'm going to say all in favor. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Vaughn. Moving on, certified evaluations that all administrators per section 10151B of the general statute have been evaluated, and that they have had summative evaluations with their building administrators, so I've certified that. That'll be sent to the state as all administrators as well, so that we can check those boxes there. We are not going to introduce the diversity plan this evening. I'm going to have that in August when Dr. Welch does come back. It was mandated by the state of Connecticut, and it's, in a nutshell, what we're doing to attract and hire a diverse population in our ranks. So we'll go through that in August. Okay? Post-high school plans, if you go to Exhibit D, you'll see that, once again, our students did extremely well with getting into competitive, most competitive, highly competitive schools. We've listed all of the schools that they were accepted to. We do not tell you where they are going, but we do show you where they were accepted. So it's just a nice little data point for you to see where our kids are going. We have 7 students going into the workforce, 5 are going to the military, hoorah. And then, I'm sorry, I had to throw out that.
No, that's cool.
That's it.
That's good with me.
Call, man. And 3 students are undecided. We had 100% graduate this year from our class. As you know, each year that is one of our, the highest goal for the Board of Education and my personal goal, and I'm proud to recognize the administrator. Yeah, 2 went early in January.
Wow.
I was telling them, slow down.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so, great work by the high school.
There's some of the kids applied pretty far away.
Yeah, they get
Colorado.
the wings and they're flying.
Oh, D, yeah, I got it. Okay. Yeah, they got it.
It's still interesting that some schools get really popular,
Yeah.
and they vary from year to year, and then they kind of fade off and another school comes on. It's usually in the South. You get High Point, you get other schools, and everybody wants to go to High Point, and everybody wants to go to Charleston, and then the ebbs and flows. But we're really proud of our students, and what you're seeing now, I think, with our 2 student reps, who obviously did very well academically, took a number of AP classes, and they stay in state and go to our state schools. And we're so fortunate to have UConn. And if you get into the UConn honors program and you're number 1 or 2 in the class, you're tuition free, room and board tuition free if you're number 1, and half price for number 2. And kids are making really good fiscally sound decisions based upon the economy and affordability. And I commend our guidance staff for really having a different conversation now that we had 30 years ago, where every kid has to go to college. You have to go to Ivy League. You have to go to that's all changed. You really have to be thoughtful in your selection process. What's right for you? What's the best fit? Affordability, location, offerings, employability when you leave and you get out. So we continue to work on it. That's a continued goal of ours as well. So the guidance department did a great job. Okay, if there are no questions, the authority to hire, we're getting fewer and fewer applicants, and we were just able to secure a musical band director yesterday, Mr. Stuffler. We interviewed 5, and we found someone. We're really excited. I don't want to say too much because we still have to sign a contract, but that was coming off our food service, which is a shortage area. We found an incredible food service person, culinary teacher, and that has a background in childhood development as well. So we're excited to possibly bring back child development, which is just another feather for our elective courses. Special ed, we hired a graduate from North Branford. We're thrilled to bring one of our grads back as well. So good things. Now, the authority to hire is if I have a certified position open up over the summer and I don't have a board meeting, we need to be able to bring someone on. And the way things are going now, we could get a resignation in the next 3 weeks. So this is customary that we do this, we give the authority to hire.
So, make that motion.
I'll make the motion
Go ahead.
to approve the authority be granted to the superintendent to hire certified teaching personnel effective immediately until the September 18th, 2024 Board of Education meeting.
I'll second. Any discussion? Seeing none, take the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you. The next item, it was brought up at the last board meeting by Vice Chair Onofrio for the starting times. That is totally your decision on what you want to do with that. So I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, I brought it up. Is anybody opposed to moving into 6 o'clock?
6, I don't know, Zach, how about you?
I mean, sometimes we do the permanent project on Mondays at 6 and it flip-flops, between police and high school. It's not impossible, but it is, there's a sense of urgency once that 5 o'clock hits. I mean, if I come in a minute late, it comes in a minute late. It's fine with
So
me.
you're okay with it?
I'm fine with that.
Do you want to do 6 or do you want to do like 6:30? Just
I'm more concerned in the summer months at least. I mean, your job would be more impacted than I think.
Yeah, it is, but it's so inconsistent, it's hard
Yeah.
to say, like, I won't know. So I think we just go with it and whatever the majority agrees.
Yeah, it becomes an issue.
Yeah, we have people not being able to make.
Right, or we're
meetings,
stumbling in at like 6:15 and it looks,
disruptive or.
Yeah. We can always alter. I'm fine with
We
it.
could always revisit.
Right.
Then I'd like to make a motion to move the start time of the North Branford Board of Education meetings from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. effective August 15th, 2024 through December 2025. I was trying to think if that would make it a special meeting, but it won't make it a special meeting.
Okay.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
The only thing I can think of is if there's any pre-meeting meetings.
That might be hard.
But that would,
Whoever's on curriculum would meet now at
Like 5:15.
5:15, 45 minutes, right? Right.
Who does that?
So go 5:15 to 6, it'd be correct.
Beth, me, and Judy, right? Yeah. And you're cool with that? All right.
I'm okay, but
I mean, again, if I have to squeeze out, I can probably make that work. I mean, as long as somebody's representing, you know what I mean?
yeah, I know Judy said she's okay.
Yeah, oh, okay.
That time of the night as
That's
well. She couldn't be here tonight. She's
All right, so it's once a month I gotta, get here at 5, right? Big deal.
5:15.
Or 5, well, right, roger that, yeah. Well, I'm early.
Early is on time, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and no more discussion? Okay, so we'll take a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any opposed? Seeing none, that motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Town manager pending requests. There are no current requests at this time other than they're doing the swearing in for the chief and deputy chief on July 17th. I'll send an invitation out to you all. It's one of our own. I can't say his name, Jimmy Lovelace, will be sworn in, so if you're more than welcome to attend.
When did you say that was? 17?
17.
Do you have a time on that? Is there a time?
I'll send the invitation out,
No worries.
remind me. It's in the evening. Get there early, because parking with the roof at the middle school is still a disaster.
At the DPD?
Yeah, I'll pick you up and drive you. That's a
No,
good
it's
idea.
not at the PD, is it?
It's what?
It's not at the PD.
No, it's at our auditorium.
Right.
Our auditorium.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a tour of the PD if you want to sign up for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Signed up too.
Okay. Renovation project, I've been over twice in the last week, and things are moving along. The gym floor, the wood is going to be in place inside. The glass is going out. The back entranceway is going to be spectacular. When you come around the back off Caputo and look at the glass, and I don't want to tell you too much, but it's really going to pop. The concrete and sidewalks are going to start going in. The access road will go in the next 2 weeks. So things are really happening, and it's wow.
Yeah.
As much as the first part, the academic piece, the science wings, the CAF, all of that, this is equally as exciting because of the elective areas, and just, we did it right. We really did. So kudos, and the Permanent Project Committee, I know you guys have been anxiously.
Love the windows in the gym.
Yeah.
When you see it says.
Oh yeah, MVHS.
And you just see that,
And then
but when you're
upside.
upstairs looking, it's just
You
a
can't see
clear
it.
window and you can see everything.
It's so cool.
Oh, it is cool.
And the training area will have, like, they're not glass, but they'll have a sliding, closing plexiglass, so you can look through and close it or leave it open. And it's very inviting. And the culinary room is spectacular. It's got the main teaching station, and then the stations out where the kids will, work as the instructor is using it. So it's really, it's exciting. The roof at the middle school is going on. It's pitched. It's going to be, the next several weeks. The guys have been working there till 8 o'clock at night. They're there round the clock, and they've been doing a fabulous job. So that'll be nice once we get that underway. Wood floor is torn up over here at TBS. The new gym floor will go down. We are going to put the North Branford T-Bird at center court because we use that for our middle school games, and I don't want to get into using different logos with the T-Birds. So that's what we're going to keep at center court. Freezer, refrigerator going in as well. Unit ventilators, the unit ventilator word is those are going on. John's working with the electrician. This is the summer to get those finished. The chiller at Jerome Harrison will be going in as well. So every building has something going on right now. They're active. Jerome has the 2 camps there. We have the our camp, our student-run camp, and then our summer school camp that Sarah is overseeing, and it's going well right now. We did put security guard in with the camp and with the students. I wanted to make sure that I had somebody there visible in the front when we go in. So they work the hours of the camp and of our summer school. And it's worked out well. We have 2 officers that we split the shifts. So.
You kind of took something, I was going to bring it up, but you already nailed them. This section J, or Juliet here, it says MBH renovation project, but is it more accurate to call it something else like capital and, I don't know, building projects or something? And then you just did exactly it, right? I had in my head half of them, unit renovators, HVAC, bathroom renovation, you nailed them all.
Yeah.
But it's just, at some point, we're going to, what's the word? Right, renovation probably going to be roofing mirror, I'll call it something else.
So what I'll do too in August, I'll have John come to the August meeting and report on everything, and then we'll change that out from renovation.
Yeah.
So just capital updates or school building project updates, or anything that we.
It's like a generalization of any new and existing work.
And John Florio is our director of operations for all the buildings. I'll have him come in and do a full report on all the summer activity.
Thank you.
Okay. The next part is executive session for goals evaluation and that. So that's it for me, for my report.
Negotiation.
Okay, so
So on negotiations, did the Paras not ratify their contract?
I haven't received the draft contract yet from our attorney, so I'm assuming they don't have a draft contract yet either.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's completed. I mean, they've agreed.
Okay.
They just need to sign off.
Got
The
it.
members
Okay.
need to.
All right.
I mean, it's really on them,
Right.
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
clock's ticking, so.
When is the due deadline on that? Is it the end of the, I know
There's really no deadline.
There is none? All right. It's a,
Yeah, I mean, their
Soft.
contract officially expires June 30th, but
That's
they
it.
won't, you know,
Yeah.
Got it.
everything will stay in place
So
until.
we shook hands, it's an
Yeah.
agreement. It
Agreed.
must just be
And
somebody,
they signed on it.
huh?
They
oh yeah,
signed.
they did say make signatures in here.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So what are we waiting on then? They've signed?
Well, they probably, well, she said we're waiting for the.
Yeah, I don't have
copy.
the actual updated contract from the attorney. They usually make the changes and then both sides review.
Okay.
And then after it's accepted, it's officially signed.
And how long is the contract for?
3 years.
3. Do we need to poke our council to poke their council to get this across the finish line, or is that already?
I think it's on them,
Yeah.
and,
I'm just making.
you know, our attorney has been very proactive
Yeah.
in
Exceptional.
nudging them along. It was kind of an interesting process, but
All right.
you get new people representing, and so the personalities change, and then their styles change, and then their sense of urgency.
Right.
Our attorney's pretty consistent.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but we'll check up on that, actually. We can call Rebecca.
I will.
Okay, so, number 10, 11 rather, committee reports, negotiations, we just discussed, correct?
We'll go into executive session.
We'll go, okay, that's asterisk, okay. Okay, so executive session there. Budget and operations, no meeting. Curriculum instruction and strategic planning, no meeting. Pension, no meeting. Policy,
No meeting.
That usually takes care of policy.
No meeting, there's no meeting, but we have 3 policies that were for a second read. I'm going to bring forth 2 of them for the second read and make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve policy P1370, acceptable use and internet safety for students as submitted.
I'll second.
any discussion? Seeing none, take the vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes unanimously.
I'd like to make a motion to approve policy P1375, use of private technology devices by students as submitted.
I'll second. Any discussion? So I have a question. There was no policy regarding this prior? These are the first time that these have been ratified?
No.
Updated.
Oh, these are
A lot of it's updated and the lawyer goes through all the
But this is what I explained to her, like we already had first read, this is the second.
yeah, last month we had a first read. And in the first read, it's given like this.
Yeah.
And it's in blue would be what's new, red would be what they took out.
Okay.
And a lot of it, what we do is it's statutory. And for some of these, it was just wording, trying to make the wording uniform through all the policies. So we're trying to go through, it's been a few years since we haven't looked at some of the policies, we're trying to go through them.
So we don't work with Dave, so our attorney through Shipman comes down and we customize them for North Branford. So we have members who sit on the policy committee and we go through it line by line and then bring it back. The board is exposed to it, they share their ideas, and then we go back and kind of retrofit.
And then do you share it with the students, since it's students?
Well, if it's, so for student here, it's for student use of technology.
Yeah.
So then from there, it would go to the handbooks, and any language that would change would go through administration and through the school, so the kids are aware, parents are aware
Okay.
for any changes.
All right, thank you.
So the lawyer suggests the changes, they come to us, we read them over, Beth explains, what happened at the meeting and what the changes are. And then if we have any further questions, we can email them. And then it comes for the second read, which is when we vote on.
Okay, so it's a cleaned up version and then we vote on it. Okay. Okay, so that was my discussion. Any other discussion, questions? All right, we'll take a vote then. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing none, the motion passes unanimously.
All right, for policy P2370, I would like to bring that back as a second read. If you looked at it on page 7 of it, it does not have, in the first read, we had a section highlighted in yellow, and we were supposed to choose, and it's not in the second read. And quite honestly, looking at it here, don't like the wording, so I think we have to go back to committee and talk about it and clean it up a little bit. But one says that we will allow artificial intelligence, and one says prohibit. So that's kind of what we have to decide, but the wording has to be made better. But it's not in the second read, so you might have missed it.
And the Director of Technology agrees too that we should send it back for clarification.
It needs a
So
little.
we'll take care of that tomorrow with the attorney, with the concern.
Yeah, well, we have a policy meeting in my at 1 o'clock, no, 10 o'clock. But it's just, the thing you have to think about is, do you want to have AI or do you want to not allow AI? So that's kind of the, we need to work on the wording, but that's what the board has to decide.
Okay.
So that will be tabled. Policy P2370.
2370, yes.
All right.
I didn't make it, no.
What time was that meeting?
12 o'clock? No.
Okay. All right.
That was tough to get anybody to volunteer for
That
because
is
it's the middle of the day.
so hard.
I know, and make it when
I
you
feel
can.
horrible, yeah.
I
I
can't
thought I
ever
was
do
going
it.
to be able to do it, and I mean, this month, I mean, in June, and I haven't done this plan.
Building committee?
Scott said, most of what was on, I don't think, they're talking September 12th or 14th.
Fingers
We'll
are
see.
crossed, I don't see that.
Yeah,
but-
we'll see.
But that's okay. They're working, they're pushing, but
Yeah, yes.
We'll be
A lot of
okay.
things are getting done. It's
no,
really shaping up.
we've been patient for 2 years. We're going to make it. We'll be okay. Yeah,
It's coming.
it's coming.
Zach, you have anything?
No, I mean, it's going to be a repeat of, I think, what Scott already mentioned.
Okay, thank you. Communication, there's no meeting. Anyone from the public, visitors, or press? Seeing none. Let's go to the board.
Just for, so he will, well, people will kind of say, I went to the play.
Do you want to hear, because I have two things I have.
Yes, please, go to the board.
I got to go to Jerome Harrison for Fun Day. We had literally like almost 150 parents come out to volunteer. It was an amazing day. The kids had fun. I hope the staff had fun too, but I had fun. And then I want to talk about, very quickly, the 6th grade reading list. My daughter, my oldest, is going into 6th grade, and we have a little book club to help her kind of read it. And I reached out to Carter. These books on this list are phenomenal. Like, the subjects that they're talking about to bring empathy to these kids and really relate to stuff that they get. The topics are heavy, but so well done for them. So, like, I seriously applaud who's ever, he gave me a whole list of people that put these together, but I'm just, like, seriously, like, blown away by it.
Getting kids to read books in the summertime is challenging enough. Getting them to be vested in what they're reading and excited about it.
And they have, like, the graphic novels versus the typical, and, like, the points are still the same. Like, they're heavy hitting, and they're done very well. So.
And how many books, what's the requirement? Is there a requirement?
There's 7 on the list, I think. Our household has a requirement, but the school does not.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on.
Then I'll make a motion We'll do this when we come back in
Okay.
the session.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to adjourn to executive session as per section 1-225 of the Connecticut General Statutes, as permitted by section 1-206A of the Connecticut General Statutes, to discuss agenda items X10K, evaluation of superintendent, 10L, superintendent's contract extension and salary, and 11A, negotiations for unaffiliated salary increases.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.